Recording in progress. Good evening, Alan Tebohot. I see four members of the committee from on my side. How many are we?
Good evening, Chair. Yes, for now, there's only four. It's yourself, Ms. Alexander, Mrs. Equati, and then Mr. Beasley.
Okay. Honorable Squati, can you please call your members to join?
Chair, they've already been informed. Let me check them again.
Dr. Guman, as much as you are not a member, I don't see the fighters here in the platform. Alan, I see Honorable Likhanyan, Honorable Mazibuko have joined. Are we not forming a quorum?
Yes, Chair. Mr. Van Rooyen's also since joined, so that's 7 members enough for quorum, Chair.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have joined the chair. We were still in plenary. So the plenary has just adjourned.
Yes. Okay. No problem. You're welcome. Just please fly to the agenda. Okay. The meeting is open, and I've welcomed you, all of you, earlier on in the morning, as we have adjourned the morning meeting. Do we have apologies?
Chair, apology from Dr. Burke.
Okay, there's apology from Dr. Berg. Is that all?
That's the only apology I received, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Let's move to today's or tonight's meeting is about considering and adopting the committee 5-year strategic and annual performance plan for the financial year 2025-2026 committee plan. So we'll start with the strategic plan, then come to the APP. We had a discussion last week. Members raised quite a number of issues. So today, let's process all those issues and then adopt the plan. Can you please flight the strat plan? Yeah, there we are. That's the strategic plan. The next section is the forward. Okay.
Yes, Chairperson, you'll just guide me how to go about it. This is the forward.
Yeah, let's take the whole forward. I take it that members have read the document up to the signature. Okay. There we are, honorable members, with the forward. Any comment on the forward? Okay. Let's proceed.
Yes, Chairperson, we are now on part A, which is the strategic overview. It contains the vision, mission, and values.
There we are, honorable members. Any comment on the vision, the mission, the values? Agreed. The next one. The next section is the mandate, functions, and powers. There we are, establishment of the committee, mandate of SCOF, legislative and policy framework, functions, proceed, portfolio committee functions, Proceed.
Yes, that was about the
mandate of the committee.
yes.
And
We've quoted from all the state, the constitution, the money bills, and the rules of the National Assembly, which gives this committee powers in terms of Rule 227, the functions of a standing committee.
where we derive the mandate from. Any comment, colleagues, on the mandate? Mandate is about where the committee derives its existence from. So I think it's clear. The powers, go down on the powers, 4.5. Okay, those are the powers which are linked to the mandate as defined by Parliament. Okay, proceed. Entities underscore. Go down until the last entity.
We have added this section here to just outline what is in the organogram that we shared with the committee, that there are also these ombuds councils that fall under the Ombud Council. I know there's legislation that is being prepared in order to consolidate them. So that's all, Chair, on that section.
Okay, honorable members, there we are in terms of the entities that we play oversight on as this committee. Any comment? Okay, we dealt with this previously. Then the next section is the strategic alignment framework. Go
Yes,
down.
it's the one that aligns us to the MTDP, the Agenda 2063, and the Sustainable Development Goals, and the NDP. And also Parliament's strategic plan. After the Chair is oversight focus.
Okay, proceed.
And the legislative program focus, we have updated it since the presentation of the National Treasury to highlight that between 2024 and 2029 term, USCOF will process over 34 executive bills as per the program given by the National Treasury. And if you look at all the meetings we normally have, we'll have a minimum of about 170 legislative meetings, starting from the briefing to public hearings, to responses, to the committee deliberating on those particular bills. Over and above that, we'll have some other bills that might come through, which are emergencies. Like, for instance, every year when we process money bills, you'll find that there are other 2 or 3 additional bills. Like last year, I think we passed about 6 bills during the process of passing money bills, because we had that global tax bill. So this is just the minimum that the committee will have over this term. And per year, these are the always recurring every year. And then for 2025, these are the bills that the National Treasury said it will bring to the committee. In 2026, we've got about 6 bills, and 2027 and 2028, 2029. And here we talk about the committee-initiated legislative programs. There were issues which we highlighted, which are outstanding, especially the implementation of the Zondo-aligned safeguards on customer due process protections of account closures. That recommendation has not been implemented either by the committee, and we are not sure whether the executive is going to bring a bill on that or it's going to be part of the coffee bill. So we've made plans for it in the program, in the APP. Yes, that's the legislative program for the year. And after that is the situational analysis.
Okay. Treasury should table the coffee bill so that we're able to deal with this issue of arbitrary closing of bank accounts, either of corporates or individuals. This is a matter that has attracted a lot of attention from the public, and the sooner coffee bill is the conduct of financial institutions. So that bill, I think, will assist a lot in us dealing with that matter. Since I joined this committee some times back, Treasury has been promising to table this bill, and it has been tabled up to so far. I think we'll have to make a follow-up with the minister that what challenges is he facing not to table this bill. There we are.
Yes, Chairperson, the Treasury said they are going to introduce this bill in the third quarter, which means from October. We must expect it from October this year.
No.
Yeah.
Let's go to situational analysis.
On situational analysis, Chairperson, nothing much has changed except tying some of the oversight priorities, just combining all of them from the legacy report to the BRRR, to the budget vote, to the fiscal framework reports that we processed during this term. So we just try to condense that into something.
Okay, Honorable Alexander. Honorable Alexander.
Sorry, Chair, I was just, apologies for the delay. Sorry, just to take you back a little bit to committee's legislation development under the International Loans Approval and Disclosure Framework. Pre-approval, is the pre-approval of international loans not a little bit cumbersome on the government? By all means, I do believe there should be transparency, but will we not be causing some kind of operational delays? Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable Alexander. Where is it? Where it is, Dr. Thope?
It's here, Chairperson. It's on page 18 at the bottom.
Go back.
Yes, I've tried to go back up. I'm not sure if it's visible now. It's here on the screen.
International loans approval and disclosure pre-approval full terms. What are we saying? That as committee and as parliament, we want to pre-approve loans?
Chairperson, it has been recommended by members of the committee in the past that there are many loans that are being taken from multilateral institutions. Perhaps you are clear somewhere where we explain here in this framework that members raised issues about the approval of loans from multilateral institutions. As a result of that, they want to have a framework where the parliament will have a say before those loans are approved, or they need some kind of disclosure on those. There is no law which says we must approve it before it happens. Perhaps it could just be a framework, an oversight framework over it, so that when those loans are taken, all information is given to Parliament.
Why don't we get information from the executive before we take a decision to pre-approve loans? We must always treat carefully on the competency of the executive vis-a-vis the competency of the parliament. Because parliament is responsible for passing the budget. And if there is a deficit, Treasury comes, explain to us that we have got a deficit. Therefore, we have decided either to sell an entity or get money from GFECRA, or we have got a loan from this and that institution. Yeah, I think Honorable Alexander has a point that if we want to go into this, into pre-approval, I think it will create challenge for Parliament. Let's continue to play our oversight role rather than going into.
Chairperson, maybe this phrasing of disclosure rather than pre-approval.
Yes,
Such
disclosure and accountability by National Treasury. But to pre-approve, I don't think that will be right. Let's not do that. Honorable Van Rooyen.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good evening to all on the platform. Chair, the provision for the minister to go and acquire loans without parliament scrutiny is something that is legislated for. So obviously we need to introduce members what they call bill, and I think there is a process that is currently being undertaken to look into amending that provision, because the real of the matter is that there are so many loans that have been acquired by this government that we can account for as representative of the people. I will cite one loan, the loans that is quite popular. The loan that was acquired to deal with a COVID situation. We all know what happened to that money, and as we speak, that's something that, of course, it's in our book as a debt that needs to be serviced. That's simply suggesting that we are overburdening the future generations by continuously taking loans without thorough scrutiny by Parliament. And obviously, here we are not saying loans should not be acquired, but that particular provision, to a larger extent, there is a strong feeling among us that is being abused, and that's why the amendments must be introduced to effect thorough scrutiny from our side as representatives of our people over the usage of the final resources of this country on how we acquire debts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Van Rooyen. Honorable, I saw Honorable Squat raising the hand. Yeah, Honorable Squat.
Yeah, it was me, Chair. So I was going to say that I agree with you, Chair, in terms of us perhaps removing that, so that in case there is any movement like Honorable Van Rooyen is saying, then we can see as to what mechanism are we going to put in place. But for now, I think let's not bring that on board, because then we are going to have to follow what we have said, even when we know that it's not necessarily what we are supposed to be doing. So I'm agreeing with you that, but for now, let's do away with it until such time that there are such developments. Thanks.
Yeah, let's deal with it. The MTBBS is coming after next month. Is it on the 12th of November? Secretariat, can you put it down somewhere in our diary when MTBBS comes? The minister the following day is supposed to brief the committee. So let's deal with this matter when we process the MTBBS and find a way of handling it in the best interest of the public, which is represented here by Parliament. Of course, the public is very worried about the loans that we have with the multilateral institutions and financial institutions here in South Africa. Okay. We're at which section? We're done with situational analysis, isn't it? Okay. There we are. Any comment on the situational analysis? Okay. Let's proceed to strategic objectives.
So we have taken from the strategic objectives of Parliament Chairperson to develop our own priorities, which will then guide us for the next 5 years. And the priorities that were developed by the committee are found in the table below. This table, we discussed these ones. So we had a discussion with the team from National Treasury, which deals with the strategic planning, and they assisted us to clean it up a bit and remove things that do not fall under our mandate. And the comments from the members really helped. So these are our objectives, and below this will be our key performance indicators.
Okay. Honorable members, that's where we are in terms of key objectives. Okay. Let's move to the next section.
Yes, Chairperson, there is a hand, Chairperson.
Honorable Alexander.
Sorry, Chair, not this section, it's the next one.
Okay. While we are here, the baseline that we set for ourselves, just for a start, we say 100%, and then targets 100%. I don't think baseline and targets is something that is the same, because our baseline should be about improving the responsive laws that address the needs of the people, inclusive public involvement, strengthen cooperative governance, and so it's clear outcomes. So just for a start, we say 100%, and the same, for instance, on targets. Everything is 100%. I think we're setting ourselves for a failure. We're not going to achieve this the way it is. If you look even on the parliamentary strat plan, they are very careful on the manner that they craft the baseline and the targets, Doctor. Say, for instance, we say outcome 1 on parliament, outcome statement, indicators, baseline, they say is a new indicator. Then midterm target, 27, 2028, 50%. 29, 2030, 80%. If you look at the parliamentary strat plan. And us, just for a start, we started 100% baseline, 100% targets. I, for one, I think we are putting the standard so high that it is impressive in the eyes of the public. But scientifically, is it going to be possible to do things the way they are? And if you look at Parliament, they are very careful. They don't do it annually, that from this year. They talk about the midterm and 5 years, the 5th year. So if we can follow the parliamentary format, it can assist us a lot. That's my opinion. Honorable Mazivuk.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, sharing the same sentiments you have just alluded to. My understanding, but Doctor will correct us. My understanding is that the baseline is according to the previous performance, is based on the previous performance. And if yes, does it mean that previously this particular indicator had performed 100%? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thanks, Honorable Mazivuk. Yeah, there we are, honorable members, so that we distinguish between a baseline and a target. Because as Honorable Mazivuk has alluded, the base is where we come from. And the target is the projection of where we are going. And as I've given a case study of Parliament, I also looked at other strat plans of legislatures, which are taking the more similar format with this one of Parliament. They go along that line, and like on the baseline, they say it's a new indicator. So Honorable Mazivuk is right. We can't have a 100% baseline because we haven't done this in this thing in this manner. So you have to say in new indicator and then targets. This is what we are targeting. But I doubt if we say 100%. As I've said, it looks very impressive in the eyes of the public. But is it achievable in that manner? So this is for us members to debate and agree. I'm not asking Dr. Hlophe, he's not a member of Parliament, assisting us technically. So the matter now is before us as committee members. The support team is there to clarify there and there, but they are not supposed to debate with us.
Chairperson, if I may clarify.
Yes.
Yes, Chairperson, the first indicator there, which is percentage of committee oversight reports that are adopted by the National Assembly, we've got a technical indicator descriptor at the end. It basically refers to our main reports that we write on the fiscal framework, the BRRR, the budget vote, and the revised fiscal framework and proposed fiscal framework. The indicator is at the bottom, but I just don't want to scroll to it right now because it will maybe disturb us. But that's what we refer to. Every year, we always achieve 100% of this because these are mandatory reports that we must submit. And if we plan not to submit any of them in the following years, then we can drop it. We can drop this indicator. But if we plan to submit all those reports as explained in the indicator there, then 100% is fine because we have been doing this even without the strat plan. TBE means to be established. This is what we haven't done before, which means it's a new indicator. We're saying is to be established. So that's what it refers to. Not everywhere where we use 100%. We use it on things that we always do. Like, for instance, on the issue, which is 1.1.3, is the percentage of entities whose strategic and annual performance plans are assessed by the committee as being fully aligned with the medium-term development plan priorities. We met the entities this year, all of them. We saw their strategic plans, we saw their APPs, but we could not determine this in the BRRR report because the MTDP had not been published by government or adopted by government. But we are saying we are not going to do it for this year. We are going to establish this thing. But next year, we aim to meet all these entities as we did this year. But next year, we'll examine whether their strategic plans talk to the MTDP or not. So all of them, we must do it. And then the evidence for that is our assessment during the budget vote process. Those are the ones which speak to issues of fiscal policy and accountability. So we continue here where there are numbers, it's numbers. On this one, for instance, 1.3, we do say the percentage of high priority committee resolution receiving a progress report from the executive within 6 months. So if we have for instance, a particular resolution that is raised by the committee, we follow it up because we haven't done that before. We say our baseline here is 0. So from then onwards, we're going to try to ensure that we increase our follow-up to the minister to respond to the resolutions of the committee. So if that is too high, also we can drop it.
I think let's
so,
do like
yes.
This. We haven't done these threat plans before.
Yes.
We've been doing our work as a committee, but we have never done things in the manner that Parliament wants us to follow from now onward. It will be safe to say on the baseline that these are new indicators. Then we debate the issue of targets. Because we might have done something in the past, this and that, but not in the format that we are following as of now. It will be maybe some of you who are in the administrative, technically, you are able to measure against what you have been doing for some years back and say now the committee has been meeting 100%. But this committee, this is for the first time that we follow this standard of doing things. So it is safe to say on the baseline that this is a new indicator. Then we discuss the what? This is a new baseline. Then we look at the target for the next coming 5 years or so. So that you do things in a manner that is safer, but professional and measurable. Honorable Squad. Honorable Squad.
Thanks, Chair. I thought Honorable Dr. Shope is saying that for those that are mandatory, because we are compelled to actually bring those reports to Parliament, those will be 100%. But the rest, that is where you'll then be able to differentiate in terms of what they think, especially with the new ones, as to then what kind of targets are we putting. But the ones that are mandatory, definitely they'll have to be 100% because we are expected to do that in Parliament. So I think that makes sense. But at least they should be able to be systematic and say these are the ones that are compelling that we must have 100%, and the rest we can then look as to how to then move from zero base and then build up towards the MTEF and out MTDPS. Thanks.
Thanks, Honorable Squad. Yes, if you look at the parliamentary strat plan, there is a chapter or a section on what you are saying to justify, to say what is the rationale for the outcome indicators. Then you give an explanation of the performance over the next coming 5-year period. So that is very, very important, that there must be a narrative part of the baseline and a narrative part for the targets for the next coming 5 years, so that you don't take it that everybody understand what we're doing and this is what we have been doing all along. Because remember, this is not a strat plan only for this committee, but it also has to be consumed by the public. So the public should have a clear understanding of what are we up to and what have we been doing and where are we heading to. So as I've said, it will be safer to say on the baseline, these are new indicators. Then, this is a new baseline. Then we start to discuss the issue of the next coming 5-year performance. Are we sure that we're going to reach 100%? If that's the case, fine. I don't have a problem, I for one. But I want us to move from the same basis that this is what we have agreed upon, so that even if tomorrow there is an audit of our strat plan, whether by Auditor General or whatever, Chapter 9 institution or Parliament itself, we should not come back and cry and say, we never thought about this. We have set targets that is unachievable, and we have set up ourselves for failure. So let's be sure of these numbers. They look impressive on the screen, but on the concretely, are we in the position to say that we'll achieve all this 100% in this period that we're looking at? Honorable Mazibu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I think I hear the members, and I do understand that these reports are mandatory, and we have to, we normally present them and agreed upon in the House. But, you know, considering what has happened this year for the first time ever, where the fiscal framework was not adopted, we can't guarantee now that our reports, even though they are mandatory, things will be the same. So I think my suggestion, Chair, is that let's leave a room. Maybe we put it at 98%, and then we leave a room in case something like what has happened with the fiscal framework happens with our presentation of our reports. Thank you, Chair. But if members feel that no, we have to stay at 100%, well, it's fine. But that was just my suggestion, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. That's an input from Honorable Kaleka Mazibuko. Any take from members? Honorable members, Honorable Mazibuko has come up with a suggestion that instead of putting 100%, we'll come to 98 or so. What's your take?
On non-compelling, yes. But it's unfortunate with
Honorable Khanya, okay, I'll come to you after Honorable Squad. Thanks.
Chair, I think we are saying the same thing, because I thought she is saying there are those that, Chair, for instance, in terms of the fiscal framework, there is no way that Parliament can actually go on without that, which is compelling legislatively. You know, you can't go on without passing the fiscal framework. So that is compelling. Obviously, you're going to have to do it. So with the rest that you can't, I mean, that still allows you, they are subjective. You can just differentiate. That's what I thought we are saying, and that's what I thought Dr. Soto was coming from in terms of what he was giving about the compelling ones. But the rest, you can then go on and just differentiate based on the work that is being done. I mean, from the baseline that we are coming from. Thanks.
No, thanks, Honorable Squad. Honorable Khanya.
Yeah, thank you so much and good evening. I think I want to agree with the statement that you made to say, look, the reports can look very impressive out there if the public were going to have access to them and express their opinions. But that alone may not be adequate. We still have to be realistic and say it may not be possible to achieve 100% of the targets, and it is equally possible that you can do that. But I think just to err on the side of caution, I'm persuaded by that statement that you made to say maybe one way to do that, we can look at it accumulatively. For instance, if there was at a particular quarter where you say, here we may want to do 20%, 40%, and then 40%, it gives you 100. Yeah, I think a progressive realization of the targets will be ideal. And that is why I say I am persuaded by the statement that you made to say, in as much as the plans, the targets may be very impressive, let's be realistic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Lekhanyane. Yes, that's that, honorable members, and that's the experience that many of us that are here who have led some institutions before will concur with. As Honorable Khanyane has alluded, that this thing get accumulated. You say year one, this is the base that I'm going to achieve. Year two, year three, year five. Year five, that's what we want 100%. But if we say from year one, everything will be 100%, I for one don't agree. That's how we should do things. When I sign off this after tomorrow, it will look impressive, but it is going to have challenges moving forward. We will come back and want to revise down. Then the public will question. You have set yourself at 100%. Now you want to go down. Why? Because it's yourself who said you can achieve so much. Because remember, the public will be the arbiter. Yes, as Honorable Squati has said, that there are reports that you will have to find a way of getting them adopted. But things as they are now have changed. Nothing is guaranteed that a bill or a report will be adopted as things were done before. We see coalition governments collapsing. The latest was in Germany and many, many others. So let's draw also international experience that the road going ahead will still be tougher than we think. So if we set ourselves baselines that give a room for a standoff, even of a GNU, whether probably at cabinet there are things they don't agree upon, and we have set ourselves to do things here. What happens? Here in the committee, we think we are going to agree, and we don't agree completely, and it leads to a serious impasse. What are you going to do? So it's not given that things will be as smooth as when, like, there's one party that has got an outright majority and can adopt reports and legislations in the National Assembly. So if we're able to look at the figures that are in the midterm, we say this is what we'll achieve. But in the final year, 2030, we want 100%. So that's what we are saying. So how do we coin that, honorable members, with the assistance of the support team here? Mazibuku, you said 98 or what? As I was giving you reference, before me here, I have got the strat plan of Parliament. I think, honorable members, you can Google it wherever you are. It is also there in the public platform. Parliament has put it in a very simplified manner, and I think they were realistic, even of the political environment in which we are. So hence I was persuaded to say, why don't we follow the way Parliament is looking at issues, that in the midterm, this is what we think Parliament can achieve. But in the long run, this is 100% that we think we should have achieved by then. Yeah. So if you can Google the parliamentary strat plan, it is quite helpful in the manner even that they have set it out. And if you look at the table, they don't say every year, this is what we are going to do. They put a baseline, the column midterm. After midterm is the final term, which is 5 years. So, yeah, there we are. What do we say finally, so that we live here with the same understanding of the baseline and midterm and the 5-year target? Honorable Mazibuk.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I agree with you, Chairman. I think that's what I had suggested. I agree with you. Uguti, let's not just from the beginning. We shoot high. So let's go accumulatively. Yeah, I think I have suggested the percentage. I thought maybe members would say maybe more or less, but I agree with you in terms of just starting with 100%. Yeah, then we can take it from there on the second term. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Mazibuko. Will it be a train smash if, for a start, we say 85%, which is midterm, and then the 5 years, 100%, so that we have got room for challenges and room for improvement? I'm not saying on everything, but there are issues here which are quite contentious that we should be flexible in terms of indicators.
If I may come in, Chair, on this one, we did actually try to explain. These are the indicator descriptors at the bottom. If we say a percentage of committee reports adopted by the NA from the committee, we mean these reports. It's a budget vote report 8, which has already been adopted. There's a fiscal framework and revenue proposals report, which has already been updated, which means we are already on 50% for this year, for these ones. A revised fiscal framework, which will come with the MTPBS, and then the BRRR, which we must do. So if we minus any of these reports here, then we can only come to maybe 75% or 50%. But we can't say maybe 98% or 85% because it's only 4 reports we are talking about. If we do more, is when there is a revised or adjustment budget like we did during the COVID time. We actually adopted a lot of reports on the budget framework then, because there were these plans by government to pass new measures to deal with COVID-19. So we ended up maybe adopting in 1 year about 6 reports which are like this. So for this year, if members believe that we cannot achieve this 100 or these 4 reports, one of them might not be adopted by the National Assembly, then we can minus that and say 75 or say 50%.
Let's go back.
So on this one, yes. Yeah.
Let's go back where you have put baseline and right from the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
Baseline.
Okay, where's this now? Yes, yeah, Chairperson, yeah. So since this is a new strat plan, we can say this is all new on this column, and then set targets for the next 5 years. But I just wanted to clarify
if you look at Parliament, there
yes.
is a new indicator, and in the mid-term, and then 5 years. Where is mid-term here in terms of time frames?
Chairperson, mid-term means 2 outer years. Normally that is done when you do the APP, which is the annual performance plan. You're saying this year we're going to achieve this. Over the midterm, this is what we are planning to achieve, which is the next 2 years. But here we are planning for 5 years. That's what the strategic plan does. So that will be on the APP. It's the APP that you can adjust in that format, not the strat plan.
No. If you look at parliamentary strat plan, Doctor, say
Yes,
for instance, Table 4, outcome 3 and indicators. It has outcome indicators, a baseline, midterm, and 5-year target.
Yes, Chairperson, this is what we're
Go ahead.
exactly done here. These are the targets over the midterm, which means it's 26, 27. Over 5 years, this is the target as well. So if you look at the second one, it's saying that we want to have two reports, and in the following year we're going to have 2 reports. In the following year we ramp up the performance because the committee will be used to doing those things and so on. So, but we can always change these numbers. What we'll do, Chairperson, is that members again make comments and send back to us so that we can adjust these percentages, because what they've asked us to do, we have already done on the comments that were given to us. We've adjusted the things that they've asked us to do on the comments. We've changed those indicators to really reflect what they wanted.
Okay.
So here, the midterm means 26, 27, 27, 28. That is the 2 outer years. But that you normally do in the APP. So
Okay. There we are. Okay.
I await your inputs, Chairperson, here.
We'll have to find a way of reconciling what Honorable Squati, Mazibuko, and Lekhanyan have suggested. Then we'll come to a percentage. Let's proceed. We can still come back to that later and not ignore what members have said. What was the next section? Okay. That last part was what? It was called risk what? Analysis. What was? Before we come to yeah, risk mitigation. Honorable Alexander.
Chair, I don't know if I'm taking us back, but on page 39, strategic objective 5.1, it talks about percentage of entities with material irregularities and expenditure findings subject, etc. So I think this indicator is asking us to do operational. It's a little bit operational, and I'm not sure how this committee can be held accountable for entities who don't sort out their irregular expenditure. So to have a target of 100% there, I think we're setting ourselves up. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable Alexander. You are quite right. What the state plan should do, it is critical that we ensure that the planned performance of the committee is fully aligned to the constitutional mandate. And there are 2 primary mandates of the committee: to consider, amend, pass, or reject bills, and conduct oversight functions over the executive. So you are quite right. If we go deep into the operations of the entities, I think that should be left to National Treasury to account to us when they come on a quarterly basis, and those entities to account for their own performance, but not us setting the performance of entities in this manner on our strat plan. That is also my understanding. So our strat plan and our annual performance plan should be based on two major mandates. That's lawmaking, oversight, and also participation, public participation and oversight. So there we are. So we'll have to take.
Yeah, Chairperson, if I may explain this, we did receive a comment on this previously. We have changed it, this an indicator. We've changed it to say a percentage of entities with material irregular expenditure findings subject to a dedicated committee hearing. We already do that. We have every year the audit action plan meetings that we started when you became the chairperson of this committee, and we've been doing that continuously. So we are not being operationally, we are just playing oversight. If the JG comes and says to the committee, here are the entities that did not perform well, then the committee sets up a meeting and meets with them and say, please account to us, because we play this accountability and oversight role. Please account to us how you're implementing the plan and so on. So we've been doing that, and that's what this is saying, actually. We are not going to measure the committee by that these entities did not achieve targets, but meeting them is the obligation of the committee. You say, why did you not do, why did you have a material irregularity or an irregular expenditure here? So we already do that. That's why we put the 100%. We've done that. We met them last year in November. I remember after the AG gave us the report, we had a whole hearing for them to come and explain their audit action plans. So this is what we are saying we're going to do.
Dr. Hlophe,
Yes,
let's not do things in that manner that you debate with a member. We have got a responsibility to play oversight over National Treasury and entities. But it's not our responsibility to put their percentages on our strat plan. Do you get the point? Ours is oversight and also legislation. But to go deep into this, we are venturing into the role of National Treasury. And there's no way in which the AG audit us. The committee is not audited by the AG. Instead, the AG reports to Parliament. So it's not in that way. Honorable Alexander has a point in this manner, and I think we should take it. Hence, we said our primary mandate is lawmaking, is oversight, and making sure that there's public participation. But now, if we go into entities themselves and give them percentages, I think that is not right. That's what members are saying, and I don't think you have to argue. You just have to provide the clarity, Dr. Hlophe. I think there should be a clear rule that let's do things in this way, in line with what becomes our major role, so that there's a clarity between the role of the executive, which the minister, Godongwana, come and account to us. We ask him, why didn't your entities reach these percentages? He must explain himself and take responsibility. It is not us who must take responsibility for the performance of entities. That's what Honorable Alexander is saying, and that's what I think we're supposed to do things in that manner. Honorable Mazebuk.
Well, Chair, I was waiting for you to finish in supporting what Honorable Alexander said, but I have a question here. Why is the baseline 0%? Is it a new? Because where is a new baseline? We wrote the new. So when does it become a 0%?
Yes. So let's stick to our lingua. of saying a new indicator, and not somewhere new indicator, somewhere 0%. So let's be consistent in terms of language. Okay, let's proceed to the next section. Okay, there we are in terms of that section, risk mitigation. Okay, next section. Budget allocation.
Well, Chairperson, we are on the budget allocation here. Parliament said needs a zero base budget, and we got quotations or average prices for international travel and conducting oversight, like oversight visits. An average cost for oversight visits is 200,000, and average cost for international visits is 2 million. So this increases the budget for the 2025-26 to 5.2 million. And on the next year, we had put in a proposal to the committee that because you're going to be tackling the national payment system bill, it will be advisable for the committee to learn on how other countries deal with the issue of national payment systems. So we slotted another oversight visit there. And then the following years, there's going to be no oversight. It's just the budget for the meetings and oversight visits. So we sent this to members. I don't know if they've had a chance to look at it, but this is how it looks like here, the budget.
Yes, if you remember in the last meeting, we discussed the issue of oversight, and we agreed that for this year, the financial year under review, we'll take trips to the ports of entry, King Shaka, OR Tambo, and Bait Bridge, and then one international trip. I'm not sure whether I gave it to you or Alan. I was looking at a country like Vietnam, who were here this year. We met them with the speaker. But if members have another suggestion, the better, because the sooner we motivate on the domestic trips and the international trip, the better, because they have to be approved by the House chair responsible, before they are taken to the speaker for final approval. And in terms of international trips, we also have to submit to DECO, because remember, it's a matter of international relations. So international trip planning take a long cycle. So the sooner we decide, the better. Honorable Van Rooyen.
Just as a guiding principle, I think the issue of how those countries are performing on that specific area should be a critical one, because our trip should be guided by merit more than any other thing. Because remember, we want to learn from the best. So I think that's what we should strive for. Because at the end of the day, we really want to make sure that as we oversee performance of our country's entities, we benchmark in fact with the best. So as we prioritize these countries, let's make sure that they are doing best in those areas that we are targeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Van Rooyen. We'll engage as soon as we adopt these plans, our international relations desk in Parliament and DECO, and then we can bring back the report to the committee as soon as possible. We discussed this in detail, if you remember, at room, is it room 1 or what? There by Plain Street. So, and the criteria that we should use in identifying the countries. We'll do that as soon as we finish this meeting this week to engage our international relations desk in Parliament and DECO, because there is budget for that. Of course, there must be value for money. We don't want to go on a joyride, be seen traveling, going to the beaches and everywhere. And when we come back, you find we can't even write a report because there was no value for what we have traveled for. Thanks, Honorable Van Rooyen. Okay, let's move to the next section.
Below the chairperson, we're just breaking down the budget year on why we need 5.4 million in the first year, because we're going to have that oversight mission together with domestic oversight. In the following year, we're suggesting a 2-country national payment system study because it might be very complicated because there have been many issues raised about it. So if the committee approves that, then we'll do a scoping exercise as a committee to check which countries might be visited over this. And 27-28 is a domestic only program, and so on. So after that, we have this annexure, which is the indicator descriptors, which tries to explain all those indicators on how we arrive at them. So I'll encourage members to go through this again and then give us some kind of direction on where to change the percentages and targets in this document. So that's all we have for the strategic plan. The next one is the
wait there. We have to
APP. Yes.
We have to adopt the strat plan on its own before we go to the APP with those amendments that members have suggested. Any take, members? We were considering the report, but now we have reached a stage of adoption. Any issue before I call a member for the to move for the adoption? I think the main issue that we'll have to look at is the issue of percentages on the performance for the table that we have looked at previously. I think most of the things there we are agreeing. It might be technically there and there, like taking out the issue of entities, not to be part of our performance indicator. Are we fine?
Yes, Chair. With the amendments.
Okay, with those amendments, we are agreeing. Any member to move for the adoption of, okay, before that, Honorable Van Rooyen. Honorable Van Rooyen.
Yes, sure. Thank you. I was saying I reserve my determination on this one.
Okay. We'll record that. Can a member move for the adoption and there be a seconder for record with those amendments? We'll clean up the document Honorable Mazibuko,
I move for adoption with the amendments, Chair. Thank you.
mover for adoption with those amendments. Seconder,
Chair, I second. I second the adoption.
thank you, Homo. Honorable Lekanyana, seconds. Then we'll record the reservation by Honorable Van Rijn. Okay. Let's move to APP.
I would ask Antonio to lead us on the APP.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Lope. Antonio, over to you.
Thanks, Chair. Oh, okay, they've given me.
Antonio, are you going to load the document from your side?
Yes, I think they gave me permission to do so. I should go to the APP. That's where we are, Chair.
Okay, take us to the next section, which is what? The forward. Where we are, I think it's the same with the strat plan, the first chapter, legislative mandate. There we are, it's the same with the strat plan, mandate operationalization, powers of the committee, portfolios underscore for oversight, treasury and the entities, strategic objective outcome, goals. Okay, proceed. Okay. There we are. Yeah, any take on the forward strategic overview up to the paragraph before strategic objective, before we get into this table here. Honorable Alexander.
Sorry, Chair, I was going to make a comment on the table. I'll wait.
Okay, Honorable Alexander. Okay, no, we agree. Yeah, over to you, Honorable Alexander. Now on the
Thank
objective.
Thank you, Chair. On the strategic overview 1.3, enforce consequence management, I think the committee has limited powers in order to enforce, so this may not be an appropriate goal. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Yes, like we did with the issue of entities. Let's leave indicators that are for the department. When National Treasury comes to account, we'll say, here's the report of the AG, here's the report of Chapter 9 institution, here's the report of a commission, in party, new gent. why are there no consequent management from the side of the executive, not us dealing with consequence management? You get the point, Antonio?
Yes, Chair, that's fine. We will make changes there. So these are strategic objectives from the strategic plan. So this hasn't changed. So you're saying that we should change even from the strategic plan. These are the same. The
Yes.
APP for this year are coming at the bottom.
Yes, consequence management is something that must be implemented on the side of executive by the executive. Ours is to play oversight on the minister to say, Nugent said, this is what you must do on SARS. Why haven't you done that? But not us making it our performance indicator. It will create problems for us when we go operational. So what is 1.4? I see 1.3 on my side, on my screen. Honorable Alexander, you said 1.3 and 1.4. Is there 1.4 here? Or I didn't hear you properly?
Just 1.3, Chair.
Okay, 1.3. Okay. Next, goal 2. Okay. So even in terms of baseline, let's be consistent with our language of a new indicator and not 100%, 0%, and those dashes. So let's fill all those spaces with new indicators. And then ultimately, 2030, we want 100%. Next. Okay. Research, ethical governance, and consequence management. 100% of entities with AXA. 5.1, is it not the same like it was raised in the previous report where we talk about entities, where we said it should not be our responsibility, ours should be oversight? Okay. The next chapter or the next section, updated situational analysis, proceed. Yeah, you can go on the situational, proceed. Those are the entities that we play oversight. For comment, okay. Legislative mandate. Yeah, how far does situational analysis go? Up to, I think it's before the tables. Yeah, there we are. Agreed. Okay. Yeah, let's proceed to those tables. Annual revenue, bills, raise amounts, TLAB, BETALAB. Okay, proceed. Amendment bills, proceed. Okay, those are the bills. We've dealt with them even in strat plan. Okay, strategic risks. Yeah, proceed. Okay. Proceed. Okay. Before outline of strategic objectives, the chapter before 7, any comment? If we are fine, that's okay. Okay. And then strategic objectives and targets, oversight, fiscal service deliveries. That one of entities not receiving clean audit, I think we have attended to it before, so it should be expunged. And the same with percentages of entities that achieve 80% should be expunged. Yeah, all those boxes that deal with entities will be taken to the executive. Okay. And I think we've also dealt with the issue of consequence management and the strat plan that should be the responsibility of the executive. We play oversight over them. And then low quality, lawmaking quality. Bills process, committee reports, process bills, and bills of committee-driven amendments tabled. Baseline new indicators, and then so that we are consistent with our language. There should be consistency between the APP and the strat plan. Thank you. The next section, participation and transparency. Dedicated. Okay. There we are. I think we're okay. We no longer have that section that says the reports should be 100% on language and editing and all those. We no longer have that, isn't it?
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. We've removed them.
Okay. Proceed, systems and technology. Research Commission on Fiscal and Financial Topics. And then remove those percentage of entities. 511. Okay. Proceed. Funding of the committee, we dealt with this under strat plan. And then we also dealt with the breakdown of the budget. So what we discussed in the strat plan in regard to the budget should be expressed here. Go. Okay. So we'll have to populate the ports of entries, the Ben Arbour, Bait Bridge, or Tambo. And then there's SARS, which is outstanding. There's Reserve Bank, where we have to deal with the payment systems and SWIFT, and then CODI, and then, yeah, there we are. Proceed. Okay. Before, I think this is an annexure. Any issue, honorable members, because the next one is an attachment. The report ends here. Any comment? Okay. If we are satisfied with the APP with those amendments so that we align the APP with the strat plan. If we are fine, can a member moves for the adoption of the report? Or any indication on the position of a political party in regard to the report? You are welcome. Move up for adoption. Honorable Van Rijn.
Please note, Chair, the reserve position. Yeah?
Okay. Let's note the MK's stand on this APP. Honorable Squatty.
I move for the adoption, Chair.
Honorable Squatty moves for the adoption of the APP with those amendments. Second.
Chair, I second Honorable Mazibu.
Honorable Mazibuko second. So the report is adopted, and then we'll record Honorable Van Rooyen's reservation. Does that, we are done with the two plans. Before I make closing remarks, are there announcements, Secretariat?
Just today's the last meeting, or this is the last meeting for this term, Chair. The committee program, we're just waiting on focus areas from the House Chairperson before we submit it for approval. So that should be in the next couple of days. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thanks, Alan. That's it. Thanks very much, honorable members, for availing yourselves to process the strat plan and the APP. It's the first time here in Parliament that we go through this process. We will try by all means to stick to what we have agreed upon on the strat plan and the APP. There is always the first time. We'll clean the report. I will sign it off and then submit it to the COC, the chairperson, and then it gets submitted to the speaker. So thanks very much, and thanks very much to the support team of SCOF, Dr. Hlope, Antonia Manamela, the entire SCOF team, because this was a collective responsibility. We say thank you very much for assisting us to go through this laborious process within a short space of time. In companies and some departments, they even hire experts to draft strat and APPs for them. I know from previous experience. But in this regard, it was done internally. So it means the concept of insourcing in government is possible. That not everything should be outsourced. So thanks very much, Team Finance on the side of the support team. The meeting is adjourned, honorable members. We will meet again in the fourth term when we come back after recess in October. All the best for the constituency period. We will meet again in October. Good night.
Good night, Chair. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night, Chair. Good night, honorable members.